in the shop with the 84 LS swap project here, and we're actually in the same day that I filmed the previous video on this truck, but I went ahead and dug some stuff out. And cleaned got some stuff out the back and got the engine out, got it on the floor in my little cart here. Noticed some stuff that I did not notice when I first unwrapped the engine. We are missing a flex plate. So I gotta get a 6.0 flex plate. I have one. I'll probably steal it off one of my other 6 liters anyways, because I think my other 6.0 is gonna go in my Camaro, and it's gonna get a flywheel anyways for a manual, hopefully. So I won't need the flex plate anyways. So we'll use that, get some new bolts. I want to hear this engine run before I do oil pan, stuff like that. So I'm going to modify the harness enough off that engine and then flash VATs out of it to get it to run. And we'll put the flex plate on there in a starter real quick just to make it start and run. We'll apply fuel to the fuel rail. Like I said, I want to hear it run. Once I know this engine runs good, he wants to do a camshaft. He's thinking he wants to not have to put a converter in it, which I don't blame him. Converters are kind of spendy, but he wants a nice choppy idle with a little bit more power gain. So we've been looking like a Chopacabra cam. So hopefully we'll probably go some kind of that route. So I'll be putting a cam in it. We could definitely oil pan swap. I'll probably shim the oil pump while I'm in there. Like I said, oil pan swap. Intake is broken, missing the map sensor. So he has decided, I've kind of twisted his arm a little bit to go with one of my spare new body style intake, which is a lot like the Trailblazer SS intake. So I got that engine cover. I got engine mounts. I have transmission mount for the 4L80. I have motor mounts that fit this truck. Ironically, I had them back on the shelf, so that worked out pretty good. I've got those, and we got to get an adapter to go from the 4-bolt throttle body to a 3-bolt, and I've got to vent our front here right now. I got to vent this into the intake tube because the new body style intake does not have the provision for this. And I'll have to, so a lot of the plates you get on eBay, I'll show, because I'm not going to buy an expensive one when it's just a flat chunk of aluminum with a couple holes drilled in it. I could make one myself if I really wanted to. Most of them come with the notch for that breather, which makes no sense because this breather is fresh air unmetered. Well, it's technically metered through the mass airflow sensor, but that is basically like cracking your throttle body open because that's just sucking air in there and going down. When this is normal, it's actually pulling air in with the vacuum of the engine into your crankcase. You need this to be post. This is not hooked into your intake. It actually runs straight to your tube down into your valve cover so your PCV system can suck air back into the intake along with oil because LSs do that. But yeah, you want to get one that's flat that doesn't have the notch that comes up, and you want to make sure that's sealed off because you don't want the unmetered air, unmetered throttle body angle. I don't know how you want to say it, but it will suck more in with your throttle body closed and can cause a higher idle. Bigger camshafts that you might need to have it cracked open a little bit actually might help you. But with this situation, which is a relatively small camshaft, I'm not too concerned with that. So we'll probably just go ahead and run that empty, and then run that flat with sealed off. And then we will just run our vent up to the throttle or up into the intake tube somehow. We'll figure that out. But yeah, so this gonna pull some stuff off. I will be using the injectors off of this intake. Conveniently, they're both returnless style systems, so that won't be a problem. That means just one fuel line ran to the front, and we can put a Corvette filter regulator down underneath. We'll get a legitimate GM one and put on it. I don't know if I'm gonna run AN hose on this. I'll have to talk to him. Might just run regular high rated pressure line up front. I'll talk to him, see what he wants to run. If he wants to run AN, we'll make some AN lines for it. But yeah, so that's where we're at right now. I'm going to go ahead and probably put you guys on a tripod, and we'll pull some more stuff off of this. Actually, we're not going to pull more stuff off this. I will probably pull my flex plate on. We'll probably bolt the flex plate on. I want to get this on that engine stand. I'm going to pull the harness off of that, and we'll get that down, get this one up there, and well, once it's on the engine stand, we can work on getting that harness modified enough to start this engine on the engine stand. And I'll need some fuel, and hopefully we can make this thing start running, operate. At least just to hear it. I'll have to get some oil too. Probably just grab some cheap oil because it won't be in it very long. So pick up the cheapest thing I can find at the old Walmart store, 6 quarts of it, just to get it start and run. I don't know how much is in it. I'll drain it and just put 6 quarts of oil in it and just call it good. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and pull the harness off that motor and try to get this stuff swapped around. So yeah, woo. All right, guys. So I'm kind of settling down for the night, kind of relaxing a little bit. Got the engine on the engine stand over here. I added this off camera, this piece of angle iron with the fuel injector cleaner, aka my fuel cell for this. Just fill that up with the fuel with a little bit of injector cleaner mixer, fuel stabilizer. Helps your injectors clean everything out. But you can run this up to 58 pounds, and then you'll be perfectly fine. Yes, I'm having me a nice cigar to finish up the day here. But yeah. So I also put this on. It's one of them, the stock oil adapter off of the 5.3, that Parks motor. Drilled and tapped it for 1/8 inch MPT. Put my oil pressure gauge in it just so I can see what oil pressure is, because this is going to get swapped, obviously, because this will be changed with the pan. So we'll change that out. Getting ready for its first fire here. So I'm got to get a tack module. I got to find one in the pedal. I have one, but I got my intake tube with my filter on it with a MAF. The harness we're going to use, the computer, everything here is going to be brought over. I'm just going to buzz most of the stuff off the fuse block and power it up via the unmodified fuse block. So that won't be no big deal. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to hear this thing run. And hopefully it'll sound good, so we can proceed on with cleaning it up, put gaskets, oil pan swap, all that jazz, intake swap, all that stuff. So, and cam swap possibly. Not 100% sure at this point. But yeah. So yeah, as sitting here smoking the cigars got me thinking about, if you guys are into cigars and pipe tobacco, I got to give my buddy a shout out here. Cigar Mick over the Cigar Mick YouTube channel. If you guys are into cigars and pipe tobacco, go ahead and check him out, because he does a lot of videos, and he gives me a lot of shout outs as well. So I got to give him a shout out over there. So, all right, go ahead and move on, and we'll get this harness on. Well, I thought I had a time lapse of getting everything hooked up, the intake tube on, the battery and harness and everything on there. Put gas in the gas bottle. Got 60 pounds of pressure. Yeah, like 59, which is perfect, as you can see there. And yeah, so hopefully this thing will fire up. I'll put you guys back on the tripod and actually make sure it's recording this time, and we'll see if this thing fires up. All right, let's hit the key. Got the toggle switch method like normal. Okay. Oop, the fuel pump relay. Let's go ahead and... Yep, fuel pump prime relays there. Go ahead and jump the starter wire right back there at the fuse block. Fingers crossed, here goes nothing. Didn't get a good connection on it. So that's a good test. Stinks in here now, but I don't hear any odd noises. It's got decent oil pressure. Definitely when I shim the pump, that'll give it a little bit better oil pressure than that. But yeah, no odd noises, like I said. Good, it has oil pressure. I think it's safe to pull manifolds, intake, water pump, get it basically down to a bare long block. So I can take it, cap it off, take it and get it washed so I get it ready for paint. So we can throw a coat of paint on this thing so we can work on getting it in the C10. So, pull you guys out of the deal. So, I think that concludes this video. So, we get a little bit further ahead. I'm getting a little surprised the O2 or the carbon monoxide sensor ain't going off yet. But maybe just because it's really stinky. Rich is why, because it's on that cold start tune and there's no O2. So anyways, everything works in this harness, I think. So at least it runs and starts and runs. We'll have to do so my tune works obviously, so that's good. We'll have to do transmission modification, do the whole harness and everything, get it ready to go in here. We're gonna put in the new body style intake on it, so we'll have to get this intake off, get the injectors out of this one, clean that one up, and just get this engine ready to be cleaned up and set in the truck. So we'll catch you guys in the next one. Remember, if you like the video, you have to give it a like. If you're not subscribed already and you like this kind of content, go ahead and subscribe. And yeah, as always, guys, have a good rest of your day.